This secret about your date of birth was never meant to be told. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, and I'm serious when I say the timing of you hearing this is not random, not coincidence, not algorithm, but alignment, because your date of birth carries a signature that was intentionally kept quiet, not because it was insignificant, but because it was powerful. And the universe does not reveal power until the soul is ready to carry it without fear. And if you've ever felt like your life started with an invisible weight, like you were born into intensity, responsibility, emotion, or expectation you never asked for, this is why. Listen carefully, because your date of birth marks you as someone who wasn't meant to blend in. You were meant to interrupt patterns, to feel deeply, to awaken early, even when it hurt. And that's why your journey hasn't looked like everyone else's, that's why delays followed you, that's why you matured faster, felt older than your age, sensed things before they happened, and carried emotions you couldn't explain. Don't scroll, this message is for you, your heart needs this right now, because the secret is this: your birth date aligns with a cycle breaker code, a soul agreement that says you came here not just to live, but to shift timelines, to end generational loops, to love differently, to see truth earlier than others. And that's why your life has felt intense, like lessons come fast, like endings happen suddenly, like people either deeply connect to you or deeply misunderstand you. Listen to this, because the universe has been sending you signs about this for years, angel numbers repeating when you're emotional, clocks freezing on numbers that mirror your birthday, dreams where you feel like you're remembering something instead of imagining it, moments where strangers say things that hit too close to your soul. These weren't accidents, they were confirmations trying to get your attention, and you're getting this message now because something has shifted, something has unlocked, and your soul is finally ready to understand what it's been carrying. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, because your date of birth also explains your love life. Yes, that part you've questioned in silence, the reason shallow connections never satisfy you, the reason you feel soulmate energy instead of casual attraction, the reason you've experienced intense bonds, sudden separations, unfinished love stories, and connections that felt timeless even if they were brief, is because your birth code doesn't allow surface-level love. You were designed for depth, for recognition, for soul resonance, and that's why relationships that weren't aligned fell apart no matter how hard you tried. Listen carefully, because this is where it gets emotional. The universe delayed certain things for you not to punish you, but to protect you, to prepare you, to keep you from attaching your destiny to someone who couldn't carry it. And that's why heartbreak showed up as a teacher in your life, not as a curse. Don't scroll, because the awakening tied to your birth date has already started. You felt it, that sudden clarity, that urge to let go, that emotional shedding, that moment where something inside you said, I can't live small anymore. Those weren't random thoughts, they were activation signals. And now that you're hearing this, the universe is confirming what your spirit has been whispering, that you are entering a season where things move faster, clearer, more aligned, because awareness accelerates destiny. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. Your date of birth was hidden because knowing it too early would have overwhelmed you, made you question yourself, made you resist your path. But now you're ready, now you're strong enough to understand that the weight you've carried was never weakness. It was assignment, and the sensitivity you thought was a flaw was actually perception, and the loneliness you felt wasn't abandonment, it was separation for preparation. Don't scroll, because the universe is speaking directly to you now. This is a turning point message, a quiet but powerful one, because once you know this, you stop blaming yourself for the way your life unfolded. you stop questioning why you feel different. And you start honoring the fact that your soul arrived with instructions, and now those instructions are becoming clearer, the signs are increasing, the numbers are repeating more often, the dreams are more vivid, the intuition is louder, and that's because your birth date doesn't just mark the day you arrived, it marks the moment a certain frequency entered the world, and that frequency is waking up again. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, because the next phase of your life will require you to trust yourself more than ever, to choose alignment over approval, depth over comfort, truth over familiarity, and this message is just the beginning, a reminder, a confirmation, a gentle but firm nudge from the universe saying, you weren't imagining it, you were remembering, and now that this secret has reached you, even partially, nothing about your life will stay the same, because awareness is the door, and you just opened it. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, and if you feel that quiet pull in your chest as you read these words, that's not emotion, that's recognition, because what I'm about to say connects directly to what your soul has already been sensing beneath the surface of your everyday life. You see, once the truth about your birth energy begins to surface, the universe doesn't stop there. It starts rearranging everything around you to match what you're finally ready to understand, and that's why lately you may have felt restless without knowing why, reflective without a clear reason, emotional in moments that don't seem to make sense, or suddenly detached from things that once felt familiar. Listen carefully, this is alignment happening in real time, and it's happening because your awareness has shifted. When you carry the kind of soul signature you do, awakening doesn't arrive loudly, it arrives subtly, through realizations, through emotional clarity, through moments where you suddenly see people for who they really are and situations for what they were truly teaching you. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, because the universe is beginning to peel back layers that were placed over you for protection, not limitation, and now that protection is no longer necessary in the same way, so clarity is replacing confusion, truth is replacing illusion, and strength is replacing self-doubt. And this is where it gets important, because when someone carries the frequency tied to your birth, it doesn't just affect them, it affects the people around them, and not everyone can handle that. Some people feel inspired by your presence, while others feel exposed by it, and that's why you've noticed shifts in relationships, distance from certain people, or sudden changes in how others treat you. Listen to this. This message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. Not everyone who walks away is meant to stay, and not everyone who stays is meant to walk with you into the next chapter, because your path is narrowing intentionally. The universe is filtering your environment so that only what is aligned can remain, and yes, this includes love, soulmate connections, and emotional bonds. Because your birth energy doesn't allow half-love, it doesn't allow confusion disguised as commitment, and it doesn't allow stagnation disguised as stability. That's why you've experienced moments where love felt close but not complete, intense but unfinished, powerful but delayed. Don't scroll, because this wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Your soul wasn't being denied, it was being prepared. And now that preparation is reaching a turning point, you may have noticed repeating numbers more frequently lately, seeing the same sequences over and over, especially during emotional moments or decisions. Those aren't coincidences. Those are confirmations, reminders from the universe saying you are on the correct path even when it feels uncertain, even when you don't have all the answers yet. Listen carefully. Because this phase is about trust, not control, surrender, not force, and alignment, not attachment, and the reason this matters so deeply is because something new is forming for you, something that requires you to show up differently than before, not harder, but truer, not louder, but clearer. And this includes how you see yourself, because for a long time you underestimated your own depth, questioned your intuition, and second-guessed your worth. But that's changing now, slowly but surely, as awareness replaces doubt. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, because the universe is reminding you that you were never behind, you were incubating, you were never overlooked, you were protected, and you were never broken, you were being refined. And refinement always feels uncomfortable before it feels powerful. This is why you're being asked to release old narratives. Stories you told yourself about why things didn't work, why people left, why timing never seemed right, because those stories no longer serve the version of you that's emerging. Listen to this. This message is for you. Your birth energy is activating a new cycle now, one where clarity replaces confusion and intention replaces reaction. And as this happens, you'll notice your tolerance for misalignment disappearing. You won't be able to stay in spaces that drain you, entertain conversations that feel empty, or chase connections that don't meet you at your depth. And that's not you becoming cold, that's you becoming aligned. And alignment always feels like loss before it feels like freedom. Don't scroll, because the universe is also preparing you for a meeting, not necessarily a person right away, but an experience, an opportunity, a realization that will confirm everything you've been feeling. And when it arrives, it will feel familiar, calm, and right, not chaotic, not confusing, not rushed. Because what's meant for you recognizes your soul just as clearly as you recognize it. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now. The next phase of your journey will reward patience, honesty, and courage, not perfection, not sacrifice, and not self-abandonment. And the reason you're hearing this now is because your soul has reached a level of readiness where it can receive without fear, without questioning its worth, and without shrinking to make others comfortable. This is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a clearer chapter, one where signs make sense, love aligns, and purpose feels less heavy and more natural. Don't scroll, because the universe is not rushing you, it's guiding you, and every step you take from here forward will feel more intentional, more authentic, and more yours. And this message is simply a reminder that you are exactly where you need to be, even if you're still becoming who you're meant to be. Listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now. And if you've stayed this far, it's because something inside you already knows this isn't just another message, it's a continuation of something unfolding quietly in your life. Something the universe has been preparing you for step by step, moment by moment, even when you didn't realize it. And right now you're standing in a space between who you were and who you're becoming, and that space feels strange, emotional, uncertain, and sacred all at the same time. Don't scroll, because this part is where understanding deepens. You see, when a soul carries the kind of energetic signature you do, awakening doesn't happen once, it happens in layers, and each layer reveals a new truth about why you experienced life the way you did, why certain people entered and exited suddenly, why opportunities felt delayed, and why you often felt like you were waiting for something without knowing what it was. Listen carefully, this message is for you, because the waiting wasn't wasted time, it was alignment time. A period where your inner world was being shaped to match what's coming next, and that's why the universe asked you to slow down, to reflect, to release, and sometimes to sit with emotions you didn't fully understand. Your heart needs this right now, because the clarity you've been craving isn't arriving through force or effort. It's arriving through awareness, and awareness is what changes timelines, not struggle. And lately you may have noticed that your reactions are changing, you're less reactive, more observant, less willing to chase, more willing to choose peace, and that's not accidental, that's growth tied directly to your soul's activation. Don't scroll, because the universe is also showing you who you are without the noise, without the expectations, without the roles you were conditioned to play. And that can feel uncomfortable at first, because when old identities fall away, there's a brief moment where you feel ungrounded, unsure, like you're floating between versions of yourself, but that moment is temporary, and it's necessary, because it creates space for alignment to enter. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. You are not losing people, you are losing attachments that no longer match your frequency, and that distinction matters, because what's meant for you doesn't require you to shrink, explain yourself repeatedly, or tolerate emotional inconsistency, and the universe is making that very clear now, especially in matters of love and connection. Soulmate energy doesn't always arrive smoothly, sometimes it arrives to wake you up, to mirror your wounds, to challenge your patterns, and then it steps back until both souls are ready. And if you've experienced a connection that felt unfinished, intense, or paused, it wasn't because it failed. It was because timing hadn't caught up to truth yet. Don't scroll, because this is where many people misunderstand divine alignment. They think delay means denial, but in reality, delay often means protection, preparation, and precision, and you are entering a phase where things will begin to move differently, not faster in a chaotic way, but smoother, more naturally, more intentionally. And you'll notice this in subtle ways: conversations that flow instead of drain, decisions that feel clear instead of forced, opportunities that appear without you chasing them, and signs that confirm you're on the right path without you asking for proof. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now, because the universe is asking you to trust what you feel more than what you fear, and that's a big shift for you. Because for a long time you were taught to doubt your intuition, to override your inner voice, to prioritize logic over feeling, but your soul doesn't operate that way. Your guidance comes through feeling, sensing, knowing. And now that channel is opening wider, that's why you're more sensitive to energy, more aware of shifts in rooms, more affected by tone, silence, and intention. Don't scroll, because this sensitivity is not a weakness, it's a compass, and when you learn to trust it fully, your life becomes easier, not harder. And this includes how you navigate your purpose, because your purpose isn't something you have to search for aggressively. It's something that unfolds naturally when you're aligned with yourself, and alignment is what you're stepping into. Now, listen to this, your heart needs this right now. You don't need to rush the next step, you just need to stay present, honest, and open, because the universe is already moving pieces behind the scenes, conversations you don't hear, decisions you're not part of yet, shifts that are aligning paths before they cross, and when the moment arrives, it will feel familiar, not shocking, calm, not chaotic. Because what's meant for you recognizes your energy before you recognize it consciously. Don't scroll, because this phase is also about reclaiming your confidence, not the loud kind, but the quiet, grounded confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you deserve. And as that confidence grows, you'll notice that certain fears lose their grip, certain doubts fade, and certain doors close without resistance, making room for ones that actually fit. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now. You are not behind. You are right on time, and the discomfort you feel is not a sign that something is wrong, it's a sign that something is changing, and change always feels uncomfortable right before clarity arrives. So stay present, stay open, stay connected to yourself, because the universe is not done revealing why you came here the way you did, and the next layer of understanding is already forming, quietly, patiently, just waiting for you to trust it. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, and if you feel like something has been quietly rearranging inside you, like your patience is thinner but your clarity is stronger, that's not mood, that's movement, that's the universe shifting you into a new position where you can finally see what was hidden before. And this part matters because it explains why certain truths are becoming impossible for you to ignore. You see, when a soul reaches this stage of awakening, tolerance for misalignment disappears almost overnight. Suddenly you can't unsee red flags, you can't unfeel emotional imbalance, and you can't keep explaining yourself to people who were never trying to understand you. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now, because this isn't you becoming difficult, this is you becoming honest with yourself for the first time in a long time. And honesty always changes the game. Don't scroll, because the universe is also revealing something else, something deeper, about how others perceive you. Some people have been watching your growth quietly, noticing your resilience, your emotional intelligence, your ability to keep going even when life tested you hard, and while some feel inspired by that, others feel threatened, not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence highlights what they've been avoiding in themselves. Listen to this. This message is for you. Jealousy doesn't always show up as anger. Sometimes it shows up as silence, distance, subtle competition, or sudden coldness, and if you felt a shift in how certain people treat you without explanation, that's not in your head, that's energy responding to growth. Don't scroll, because the universe is teaching you discernment now, the ability to sense who supports your becoming and who benefits from you staying the same, and this lesson is crucial for what's coming next. Especially in love and purpose, because alignment requires honesty, not just attraction, and soul connections don't survive in environments filled with fear, control, or emotional immaturity. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now. The reason you've been pulling back lately isn't because you're losing interest in life, it's because you're gaining interest in peace, and peace has a way of exposing what doesn't belong, and as you step into this calmer, clearer version of yourself, the universe begins to respond differently. Opportunities feel closer, intuition feels sharper, and decisions feel less confusing, because when you're aligned, you don't need constant confirmation, you feel a quiet knowing instead. Don't scroll, because this is also where your relationship with timing changes. You stop rushing, stop comparing, stop forcing outcomes, and start trusting that what's meant for you arrives when you're ready to receive it without fear. And that includes soulmate connections, because true alignment doesn't come with anxiety, mixed signals, or emotional guessing games. It comes with consistency, emotional safety, and recognition. And if you've experienced connections that felt intense but unstable, powerful but draining, it was because they were mirrors, not destinations, teachers, not partners. Listen to this, your heart needs this right now. The universe doesn't waste connections. Every person who touched your heart taught you something about what you need, what you won't tolerate, and what kind of love actually nourishes you. And now that knowledge is becoming embodied, not just understood, which means you're less likely to repeat old cycles. Don't scroll, because this phase is also about boundaries, not walls, but clear energetic lines that protect your peace, and as you set them, some people will resist, test them, or walk away, but what remains will be real, supportive, and aligned. And that's exactly what you need for the next chapter. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now. The universe is preparing you for expansion, but expansion requires space, emotional space, mental space, and spiritual space, and that's why things that once filled your time no longer satisfy you. conversations feel shallow, routines feel empty, and distractions lose their appeal, because you're being called into depth, meaning, and purpose. Don't scroll, because your purpose isn't something external you have to chase. It's something internal you align with, and alignment is what you're practicing now, through awareness, release, and trust, and the more you trust yourself, the clearer your path becomes. Listen to this. This message is for you. The universe is not testing you anymore, it's trusting you, trusting that you can handle clarity, responsibility, and truth without collapsing into fear, and that's why answers are coming faster, signs are clearer, and your intuition feels stronger. Because you're ready to lead your life instead of reacting to it. Don't scroll, because this is a powerful moment of transition, one where you stop asking why things happened and start understanding how they shaped you, and that understanding brings peace, confidence, and momentum. And as you move forward from here, remember this: alignment feels calm, not chaotic, clarity feels steady, not rushed, and what's meant for you will meet you with the same energy you bring to yourself. And the universe is simply guiding you toward that truth, one realization at a time. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now. And if you've felt a strange mix of peace and pressure lately, like something big is approaching but you can't quite name it, that's because you're standing at the edge of a turning point, one that doesn't announce itself loudly but changes everything quietly. And this stage of your journey is about integration, about bringing together everything you've learned, endured, released, and understood into a new way of moving through life. Listen carefully, because the universe is no longer asking you to prepare, it's asking you to embody, to live from what you know instead of what you fear, and that's a powerful shift. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. Because embodiment changes how people respond to you, how opportunities find you, and how love approaches you. You may have noticed that you're attracting different energy now. Not necessarily more people, but more intentional ones. Conversations feel deeper, silences feel meaningful instead of awkward, and you're less willing to entertain anything that doesn't feel mutual or grounded, and that's not coincidence. That's alignment becoming visible. Listen to this. This message is for you. The universe has been refining your emotional standards, not to make you picky, but to make you honest about what you need to feel safe, supported, and seen. And this honesty is essential for what's coming next, especially in matters of the heart, because soulmate energy doesn't arrive to fill a void. It arrives to meet you where you already stand, whole, aware, and grounded. And if you've ever wondered why certain connections faded when you started growing, it's because they were attached to an older version of you. And growth always changes access. Don't scroll, because this part matters deeply. The universe is also teaching you discernment between intuition and fear, between excitement and alignment, between attachment and love, and that lesson can feel subtle, but it's transformative. Suddenly you're less impressed by intensity and more drawn to consistency, less attracted to mystery and more to clarity, less willing to chase and more willing to receive, and this shift is preparing you for a different kind of life experience, one that feels calmer but more fulfilling. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now, because calm is not boredom. It's regulation, it's safety, it's trust, and for a long time your nervous system was used to chaos, to unpredictability, to emotional highs and lows, and the universe had to gently teach you that peace is not something to be suspicious of, it's something to build with. Don't scroll, because this also explains why you've been shedding old habits, old thought patterns, and even old dreams that no longer fit, not because you failed, but because you evolved. And evolution always requires letting go of what once made sense. Listen to this. This message is for you. The universe is not taking anything away without planning to replace it with something more aligned, more sustainable, and more supportive of who you're becoming, and that includes purpose, because your purpose isn't something you need to discover from scratch. It's something that emerges naturally when you live in alignment with your values, your truth, and your energy. And lately you may have felt a pull toward meaning, toward contribution, toward something that feels bigger than routine or survival, and that pull is real. It's guidance. Don't scroll, because the universe is also aligning you with timing that cannot be forced, and that can feel frustrating when you're eager, ready, and willing, but timing is part of protection, not punishment, and when the moment arrives, it will feel right in your body, not rushed in your mind. Listen carefully. Your heart needs this right now. The next opportunities that come your way will require you to trust yourself more than external validation, to listen inward before reacting outward, and to choose alignment even when it challenges familiarity, and you are capable of that now in ways you weren't before, because you've done the inner work, you've faced discomfort, you've questioned your patterns, and you've chosen growth even when it was lonely. Don't scroll, because loneliness was never a sign that you were alone. It was a sign that you were outgrowing environments that couldn't meet you anymore, and now that growth is creating space for connection that feels mutual, nourishing, and grounded. Listen to this. This message is for you. The universe is also strengthening your intuition right now, not to overwhelm you, but to guide you gently. You may notice stronger gut feelings, clearer yes and no responses, and a deeper trust in your internal compass, and that's intentional. Because the next chapter of your life requires self-leadership, not constant reassurance. Don't scroll, because this is where many people miss the blessing. They look for signs outside themselves while ignoring the clarity forming within. But you're being invited to trust your inner knowing, to honor what feels right even if it doesn't make sense to everyone else, and that trust will open doors that effort never could. Listen carefully. Your heart needs this right now. The universe is not rushing you. It's rooting you, anchoring you into a version of yourself that can receive abundance, love, and purpose without fear of losing it. And that grounding is what makes the next phase sustainable, joyful, and real. And as you continue forward, remember this: alignment doesn't scream, it whispers. It feels calm, steady, and true, and the more you listen to that whisper, the clearer your path becomes, and the universe will continue to meet you there, exactly where you are. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now. And if you've been feeling like the world around you is getting quieter while your inner knowing is getting louder, that's not isolation, that's alignment sharpening your senses, and this phase is asking you to trust the stillness instead of fearing it, because stillness is where truth becomes audible. Listen carefully. Your heart needs this right now. The universe is slowing certain things down, so you can notice what actually matters, what drains you, what nourishes you, and what no longer belongs in the life you're building. And as this happens, you may feel moments of grief for versions of yourself you're leaving behind, for dreams that changed shape, for people who couldn't walk with you any further. But that grief is not regression, it's integration, it's the honoring of growth. Don't scroll, because this is also the season where your boundaries become quieter but stronger. You're not announcing them, you're living them, and that shift confuses people who were used to having easy access to your time, your energy, your emotional labor. Listen to this. This message is for you. When access changes, reactions follow, and not all reactions are your responsibility. Some people will test your limits, some will guilt you, some will misunderstand you, but clarity doesn't require permission. And you're learning that now. Your heart needs this right now, because the universe is preparing you for a level of stability that requires discernment, not over-explaining, and confidence that doesn't need applause. Don't scroll, because love is also being redefined for you in this phase. You're realizing that love isn't urgency, it isn't confusion, it isn't emotional highs followed by long silences. Love is consistency, curiosity, effort, and peace, and once you taste peace, chaos loses its appeal. Even if it once felt exciting, listen carefully, because this realization changes what you attract. Soulmate energy doesn't come to rescue you, it comes to recognize you, and recognition only happens when you're standing in your truth instead of performing for acceptance. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. The universe is also aligning you with people who mirror your growth, not your wounds, and that means conversations feel different now. There's less explaining, more understanding, less proving, more presence, and you'll notice that connections feel lighter, even when they're deep, because depth doesn't have to be heavy when it's healthy. Listen to this. This message is for you. You're also learning to let timing be your ally instead of your enemy, to trust that what's delayed isn't denied, it's being positioned, and positioning requires patience, alignment, and readiness on both sides, whether that's love, career, or purpose. Don't scroll, because impatience often shows up right before breakthroughs, and the universe is asking you to breathe through it, to stay grounded, to keep choosing integrity even when shortcuts appear tempting. Your heart needs this right now, because shortcuts cost peace, and peace is the currency of your next chapter. You're building something that needs a stable foundation, not quick wins that crumble under pressure. Listen carefully. This is also the season where your intuition becomes non-negotiable. You may feel clearer yes and stronger no's, and honoring them may disappoint others at first, but it will never disappoint your future self. Don't scroll, because this clarity is earned. You didn't wake up one day with it, you developed it through reflection, heartbreak, honesty, and courage, and now it's guiding you forward. Your heart needs this right now. The universe is also inviting you to receive more, not by doing more, but by allowing more, allowing support, allowing rest, allowing joy without guilt, allowing love without suspicion. And that can feel uncomfortable when you're used to earning everything through struggle, but ease doesn't mean you didn't deserve it, it means you're aligned with it. Listen to this. This message is for you. The next phase of your life will reward consistency over intensity, presence over perfection, and truth over performance, and you are ready for that because you've stopped running from yourself. You've faced the quiet moments, the unanswered questions, the emotional pauses, and you didn't numb them away, you listened. Don't scroll, because listening is what changed everything. It's what allowed you to hear your own needs, your own limits, your own desires, and that self-awareness is rare, powerful, and attractive in ways you may not even realize yet. Your heart needs this right now, because the universe is not asking you to be fearless, it's asking you to be honest, and honesty builds trust, trust builds safety, and safety builds a life that can hold joy without chaos. Listen carefully. The signs you've been seeing, the repeating numbers, the meaningful coincidences, the intuitive nudges, they're not asking you to rush, they're asking you to stay aligned, to keep choosing what feels true even when it's unfamiliar. Don't scroll, because unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong, it often means new, and new can feel uncomfortable before it feels like home. Your heart needs this right now. The universe is guiding you gently, not pushing you harshly, and as you continue forward, remember this: clarity grows when you honor yourself. Alignment strengthens when you trust your pace, and what's meant for you will meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. Stay present, stay grounded, and let the next step reveal itself naturally. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, and if you've made it to this moment, it's because something inside you already knows that this isn't just a story, it's a reflection of where you are standing in your life right now, a mirror being gently held up by the universe so you can finally see how far you've come and how close you are to what you've been quietly hoping for. And this final phase is about trust, deep trust, not in outcomes. Not in people, but in yourself, because everything you've been through has been training, even the moments that felt like detours, losses, or silence. Listen carefully, your heart needs this right now. The universe is confirming that you are no longer in preparation mode, you are in positioning mode, and positioning is subtle. It doesn't come with fireworks, it comes with calm decisions, clearer priorities, and a sense of inner steadiness that doesn't depend on external validation. Don't scroll, because this is where many people doubt themselves, right before things begin to align, because alignment doesn't always feel exciting at first, sometimes it feels quiet, almost boring compared to the chaos you've outgrown, but peace is not emptiness, it's readiness. Listen to this, this message is for you. The universe has been watching how you handle your emotions now, how you respond instead of react, how you pause instead of chase, how you choose yourself without needing to announce it, and those small choices are building momentum you can't yet see, but you will feel soon. Your heart needs this right now, because what's coming next isn't meant to overwhelm you, it's meant to support you, and that's why the universe slowed things down first, to stabilize you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Don't scroll, because this stability is what allows blessings to stay, not just arrive. And for a long time you were strong enough to survive but not supported enough to receive fully, and that's changing now. Listen carefully, this is also where your relationship with the past transforms. Memories don't sting the same way, lessons feel complete instead of open wounds, and forgiveness feels more like freedom than effort, because you're no longer trying to get answers from situations that already taught you everything they could. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. You are not meant to go back and fix what broke. You are meant to move forward and build what fits, and the universe is clearing your path for that, quietly removing distractions, emotional noise, and misaligned attachments so you can focus on what actually matters. Listen to this, this message is for you. The people who are meant to walk with you next will recognize your calm, respect your boundaries, and meet your effort with their own, not because you demanded it, but because alignment creates mutuality naturally. And that includes love, because soulmate energy doesn't arrive dramatically, it arrives gently, it feels familiar, safe, and steady, and when it shows up, you won't question it the way you question past connections. Don't scroll, because you are no longer the version of yourself that tolerates confusion for chemistry or inconsistency for excitement, and that growth is what makes room for something real. Your heart needs this right now. The universe is also reminding you that your worth was never dependent on how much you endured, how much you gave, or how long you waited. Your worth is inherent, and now you're finally living in a way that reflects that truth. Listen carefully, because the next chapter of your life will feel lighter, not because problems disappear, but because you carry them differently, with clarity instead of fear, with confidence instead of doubt, and with trust instead of control. Don't scroll, because trust is the key theme now. Trusting that what's meant for you won't pass you by, trusting that delays were divine. Trusting that your intuition is reliable, and trusting that you don't need to rush to arrive. You are already on the path. Your heart needs this right now. The universe is not asking you to do more, it's asking you to stay aligned, to keep choosing honesty over comfort, peace over familiarity, and self-respect over people-pleasing, and those choices will continue to open doors effortlessly. Listen to this. This message is for you. Signs will keep appearing, not to confuse you, but to reassure you. Repeating numbers, meaningful conversations, moments of clarity that feel like remembering instead of learning, and each sign is a gentle nod from the universe saying you're exactly where you need to be. Don't scroll, because as this chapter closes, something important settles within you, a sense of grounded hope, not the kind that depends on outcomes, but the kind that trusts the process, and that hope is powerful, because it allows you to move forward without fear of the unknown. Listen carefully. Your heart needs this right now. The journey ahead will not require you to abandon yourself, shrink your needs, or silence your truth. It will invite you to expand, to receive, and to live in alignment with who you've become. And as you take your next steps, remember this: the universe doesn't rush what it values, it nurtures it, protects it, and delivers it at the right moment, and that moment is closer than you think. Stay present, stay open, and trust that everything you needed to learn has prepared you perfectly for what's coming next.